death turns life into death. So he does use the language of cruelty, but he doesn't use it in a moral sense, and that's one of the things that I think is interesting about Freud. It's repetition, it's habit, it's aging. So I think that's really, really interesting. The other thing that I'm curious about, and I think relates to my presentation, and I'll be curious to hear what you have to say about it, is of course the Latin root of cruel is cruor, which means blood. So there's something about cruelty which has historically related to the production of blood, or bloodiness, or making blood happen, piercing the flesh and making a wound. But there's also a way in which cruelty is at the same moment related to an idea of bloodlessness. So both bloodiness and bloodlessness are related to this term, funny term, cruelty. You see this word does a lot of work. So this is an image, this is Andy Warhol. He did a series of paintings and drawings from 1961 until 1973. He himself always claimed that timing had no significance, but he always said that his painting wasn't political. But those two dates bookend the last execution in New York State and the moment at which the United States Constitution, the United States Supreme Court declared that capital punishment was unconstitutional. And he called them disaster. He started with images of I think Marilyn Monroe's suicide, but also then car crashes. But as the disasters went on, he more and more used this image of this empty electric chair, which is kind of very realist, and it's a very stunning image. But it also has this kind of sense of bloodlessness. There's something bloodless about that. He focuses the viewer on the mechanics of death, but also on its repetition. So that's sort of what you were talking about, the repetition. Death which is repeated again and again. This is another one, 363. I was going to put them all up, but it seemed excessive. And while we're going to talk about excess, that's not too excessive. Also, because I find them incredible. So the austerity of the execution room really does kind of suggest the bloodlessness or the cold efficiency of electrocution. So I want to talk to you just a little bit about the means of execution and its mechanics, because they're incredibly important to all of the discourses, the political, moral, philosophical discourses that circulate about it. It's largely